Summer is around the corner. There'll be a lot of weddings in the summertime, of course, and how to make these summer weddings more bearable, and maybe weddings in general. People have come up with some rules, and you can agree or disagree. These are new wedding rules for 2023, including summertime, but also just in general, just going forward weddings. For example, no kids at weddings.
Hear, hear.
I agree.
I like that.
I strongly disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
It's because your weddings are dry.
That's true.
That is
You
true.
can't drink at weddings, Jared.
Yeah.
Well,
Because of your religion.
Yeah, if like somebody's getting married and and that's just in our faith. I mean, it's just, the reception and all that stuff, that the whole family's invited.
I view weddings, and we are invited to 7. We're able to attend 6 this year. Which it's like it ebbs and flows. Some years it's none, and then everyone,
gosh.
6.
Yeah.
I know 6.
I know
That's a lot of money
zero
in
this year.
gifts.
I know, and there's some travel that's involved for that. But they're friends and stuff, and if we can do it, we want to do it. We want to be there. But I will say, I view weddings as a date night. And I don't want my kids to be a part of my date night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mommy needs a break. So I want to go and I want to enjoy. And also, when my kids are present, they require my attention, which means my attention is not on the bride and the groom.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and the friends and the family and the people you want to catch up with and have a good time with.
Is
I
there
would be
an
chasing my
age?
kids.
Is this anyone under 18, or is there would you say above a certain age or below?
18. I think
18.
18.
So what if they're
Yeah.
15?
15 to go
Okay,
beyond.
15, 16. If you can take care of
13,
yourself and you
Yeah.
can feed yourself and you can sit quietly and you can behave and last that amount of time, then you're invited.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
Katie.
No, it's true. We
What about
yeah.
dogs? Would you allow dogs at weddings?
Ugh,
Hell
if I
no.
like them.
But I think
I
Katie's
like
in a
them.
situation where, she may not get these date nights
We don't.
very often.
Yeah.
So when it comes to a wedding, you feel it's almost like your opportunity.
I get to dress up. We get to have a babysitter. We get to go out. I get to enjoy wine and a nice meal and my friends with uninterrupted
But however, Katie,
conversation.
can you admit that for some people, it's not very easy and ideal and affordable to have somebody that they may or may not have to watch their kids?
Oh, trust me. We have a wedding coming up that first of all, really messing with our wedding plans this time of year. Taylor Swift, because every single young female who happens to babysit for our family will be in Nashville to see Taylor Swift.
Nashville, wow.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
and so I'm like, no, but. No,
Who these rich
you,
babysitters?
You already said that you could do
Well,
it.
you got to pay them a lot. That's why
Yes.
they can go.
That's right. I'm paying for their ticket.
That's
They're like,
true.
but you already said that you could babysit. But then who am I to ruin their lives by
Right.
telling them, no, you have to sit for me. You can't go see Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You
But
can't
will
be
your
that
parents
person.
not, will your parents not watch the kids?
Hell no.
Really?
No, I mean they will, but they were just here,
Oh,
and then they're
okay.
coming back again very
Well,
soon.
I
so.
will say, so I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But technically, unfortunately, the wedding's really not about you.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
And it's about the couple, and I get the paying and
Exactly.
attention of it. You don't want a lot of,
Unfortunately.
but I
Unfortunately.
think if you can have kids at the wedding that if they're in control somewhat, where they're not outrageous and very disruptive, then I can see that's a problem. But if your kids are somewhat well behaved, I think you should, no matter what age, I think they should be allowed for the most part.
If the people
It's-
throwing the wedding say we want families to be there, then we
Absolutely.
can
that's
like
fine.
not like it.
Yeah, if
And you,
they
and you don't have to
say-
and you don't have to bring your kids.
But Jason, if
Right.
you were invited to a wedding this coming weekend and you had an option to bring Everly, your daughter,
Yeah.
or not, what would you do?
Well, I would
You gotta-
rather not.
Okay.
I'd rather
Yeah.
not because it's, that way I'm.
I think everyone would rather to have like a
on
date
that,
night.
on that particular, that sounded mean that I don't want to bring Everly.
He really painted you in a corner.
But at in that particular situation where sometimes weddings can be at night, it could be late, and there's tiredness, we have to deal with the kids and all that stuff. I would at that point rather not. But if the option's there, it's not the worst thing in the world.
You have to put the car seat in the Uber, and that takes forever.
Oh, geez.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the things you got to think about.
Now with Landon 16, he's coming because he's driving us back.
Perfect.
All right, other things going forward, wedding changes. And by the way, this did say if you have kids, like if they're in the wedding, that's fine, but have a car waiting to whisk them away as soon as it's over so they won't stay.
The only
Oh.
kids invited to my wedding were like the ring bearer
Mhm.
and the flower girl, and that was it.
And they were allowed to stay through the whole thing.
Yeah, but they didn't
Yeah.
just because it was late.
It's
So they
bedtime.
ended up leaving.
Mhm.
And Ava and Eli have never forgave you since not being invited to your wedding.
Sorry
Yeah.
about it.
They didn't even know about it. All right. No outdoor summer weddings. I co-sign on that. I think, first of all, you're setting yourself up as the person getting married for potential major problems and disappointment. First of all, if it's like 1,000,000 degrees,
Uh-huh.
everyone's sweating,
Yes.
everyone's dressed up.
Yes.
And then if it rains, oh, wait, and it's moving inside and it's a last-minute crazy thing, or it just gets totally messed up. Forget it.
Now,
Summertime, no
Mhm.
weddings outside.
When was Katie's wedding? Because that was
Fall.
Yeah.
Okay, that wedding, Katie's wedding was my #1 wedding.
We
Sorry,
got
Matt.
so lucky with the weather, but it was late October and it was at 5:00 in the evening.
And Matt's wedding wasn't bad at all. I don't.
No,
remem-
gosh, no.
I don't remember any
beautiful.
issues. I mean, I think Matt would sweat if it was winter, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that was a stipulation because ours was in May. So it was right on the edge. I was like, any later, and it's going to have to be indoors because I'm going to be too sweaty.
But it wasn't
I,
hot.
It
I was
wasn't.
very. I'm like, I'm not wearing a jacket because
Yeah.
it's going to be way too hot. And I do think I agree with if you're going to do it in the summer and it's going to be outside, you need to let everyone know. Look, short sleeves, casual, it's okay. This
Uh-huh.
isn't like wear a suit and tie and everything and then sit
Ugh,
outside
that's
for an hour
miserable.
and
Yeah.
kill yourself sweating to
Yeah.
death.
that would be miserable.
We went to and it was a gorgeous wedding, but we went to a wedding in Charleston in like the hottest weather ever, and it was black tie.
oh
and
my
I thought
gosh.
that the guys were going to die.
Yeah.
I
Why
thought
would
we
you
would
do
literally
that?
die.
Don't do that.
It was beautiful, but we were underneath a tent where there was no moving air, and it was just so incredibly hot.
Charleston's so humid.
So humid. And so I'm with you on that one.
I think I know whose wedding that was, and I want you to tell Jason whose it was because he'll love it.
Someone you mentioned earlier that's very wealthy. All right.
It was a beautiful over the top
well,
They
gorgeous
could afford
wedding.
air conditioned tent.
or an indoor venue.
It was so hot. Even the bride said, it was pretty hot.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it can still be beautiful, but I think you're so caught up in like it's the romanticism
Sure.
of a wedding, as it should be a very beautiful,
Yes.
wonderful day. You don't think of all the other things, and then do you want people to be there and be miserable, and then they associate your wedding with
No.
being miserable?
No, we don't.
And the stress leading up to is it going to rain or not?
Yeah,
is
forget
real.
it.
Yeah,
Constant.
it is. That's
Yeah.
true.
Wedding changes that should be new wedding rules going forward, starting right now. You can deny anyone a +1 for any reason.
Ooh, I don't like that.
I also agree with that one. If
Yeah.
yes, because
I don't.
I
No.
want. Well, here's the deal.
Okay.
No, Katie.
Here's the deal.
You're wrong.
No,
Okay.
we did not. When we addressed our invitations, we addressed them to who we were inviting, and you have having a number on what you can afford and a cap on what you can afford is a reality,
I get
whether you
that.
like it or not.
But then you
And
have to be.
So then you have to because I want so and so to bring some person I've never met before.
Yes.
I'm not going to invite them.
That's part of it.
Oh,
That's your tradition.
No,
That's like getting one. That's like
They're not.
that's like us giving
It's
away
not.
one concert ticket.
no.
Like, big call right now. You get one ticket to Taylor Swift. It's like it's similar.
We're sending you to see Taylor Swift in L.A. by yourself.
By yourself, and don't dare invite anyone.
If you are married, obviously it's the husband and wife or the couple themselves, right? But if it's freaking Squid who has date A, B, C, D, E, and F any night of the week, screw you.
Yeah,
You're
but
not
what,
bringing her to
but
my
what if you
wedding.
have a girlfriend? What if you have,
Girlfriend's fine because that's you're
Okay,
already written
okay,
into the
all right.
equation.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if you're Squid who doesn't even know tomorrow who he's going to date, no.
But it
Yeah,
would be. It could be. Sorry, Squid. It could be slightly uncomfortable for somebody if, let's say, somebody lives out of town,
Yeah.
far away, right? They know you well. They grew up with you.
Mhm.
Every single person at your wedding, they don't know. They have
They're
no.
showing up by
and then you
themselves.
show
I
up
think
by
the
yourself.
odds of that happening are so low. The odds,
Are they?
The odds of somebody wanting to travel to be with you on your wedding day and they don't know a single person in your
Yeah,
family or
that's
your
weird.
friends, that to me is the odds are so low.
I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think so.
I think in that specific situation, I would give them a +1 to travel with.
To travel, but
But-
it's
But
yeah,
I do think
maybe.
if I've got a friend who I want at my wedding, and we're at a limit of 200 people, but there's like 10 people that I really wanted there that didn't quite make the cut, I would rather have them there than the random person that Squid's
Like it-
bringing who
yeah.
I've
you
never
have to
met.
be quality over quantity.
like
in that
Katie,
case.
if you
Yeah.
went out to college, just like let's say you went to USC or you went to BYU, which is in Utah or
Okay.
California, and you had some college friends that were from maybe out west and you
Mhm.
became really good friends, but they never, you never came here, but you really bonded in college and you invite them to your wedding. They're not going to know anybody at your wedding.
I would think that at that point, if we're so bonded, you're knowing my family, you're
Maybe,
knowing some
maybe
other
not.
friends.
I mean, you might be aware of your situation, but you still, because of travel or whatever, I think that definitely happens. It
I think
definitely
it
happens in our church
could.
because, like, you go on a mission. I was in South Africa and I met like 400 missionaries and became friends with lots of
Yeah,
them.
but you're all connected.
But,
Yeah.
but they still would come to my wedding and not know anybody because they're not from this
But
area.
once you say it's like a fraternity, once you have the secret
They're gonna
Mormon
feel-
handshake, then
And plus,
you're
we do.
connected.
Plus, in our church, we do a +6, so you can bring your entire family.
Your family, your
Family,
kids,
friends,
grandparents.
potential,
But isn't that-
potential converts.
Yes.
But not, I'm not joking at all because I in the fraternity thing, it was true. If I went to another college and all of a sudden they were the same fraternity as mine,
Oh, sure.
it was easy to bond. But isn't that true?
It's
Kind of with your
easier,
religion?
but still, you still go and you don't know anyone. It's uncomfortable.
Okay.
Mhm.
So,
But
Katie,
not-
you did the no +1s for some people.
Yes.
So it said just you're invited.
Yeah, because if they were not with somebody that we long term or had not been with them for a substantial amount of time, we didn't. We said I think I
Oh, I
addressed
came-
it to
I came to your wedding by myself.
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you asked me like 2 days before if you could bring somebody, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, it was
sorry.
literally like 2 weeks ago. My buddy David and I
think.
were at the Hoppers game, and we both realized we got invited to the same wedding. And we were like, wait, do we have a +1? Because, like, he's kind of, sort of, not really, sort of, kind of talking to someone, and I'm, it's kind of the same way. And we're like, maybe we should get, like, an Airbnb and bring, like, our +1s. And we're like, wait, let's call Kaylee. The bride's name's Kaylee. Let's call Kaylee right now and see if we have a +1.
What'd she say?
She answered, and we're like, hey, do we have a +1? She was like, well, are you guys dating someone? We're like, no. She's like, well, who you bringing? And we said their name. She's like, no.
When you're bringing,
should just-
bringing
you should
Ratchet
just
Rachel
lie.
or somebody. Yeah.
What?
You should have just lied and said, "Yeah, I've been
Yes.
dating this girl."
Yeah, I guess we should have in hindsight, but I mean,
Yeah.
Because now what it is on the invitation when you send it for the RSVP, it says we have reserved X number of seats for
For
you.
you.
So if
I
it's for
got
a
you.
couple, we've reserved 2 seats or
Right.
however it is.
Yeah.
All right, just a couple more rules, and we maybe do some more of these tomorrow because there are a lot of good ones. Rules. Oh, this is to me. This has to be done. This has to be done, and I have a conjunction with this. New rules for weddings going forward. Speeches must be pre-written. Don't go up there and try to. All of a sudden,
yeah.
you're Barack Obama or you're Ronald Reagan or whatever. You're Matthew
I love
McConaughey,
that.
and let's not do the open mic.
I'm with you.
At
I'm with
our
you.
Love
reception, we did a little thing. If anybody wants to say something to us, and for the most part, it was good. For the most part, but every once we get somebody, and you're like, "What are you even? What are you?"
Yes.
Everyone's sober, so
Oh,
add drinking
true.
into it, and then somebody gets up there and they start saying,
That's the best
Oh,
part.
entertainment. Yeah, that's
"Ah, what-
entertainment.
like if Squid's
Yeah.
getting married, like, oh, I remember when I dated Squid and we did this sexual position." And you're like, "What are you saying?"
Oh my gosh, that's my favorite part. This guy got
As a guest?
Yes, as
No.
a guest.
Yeah.
This guy got so drunk. One of our friends. The whole time I couldn't wait because I'm like he kept drinking. I'm like I can't wait for this speech
Disaster.
because I knew it was going to be a mess, disaster. It's so awkward and uncomfortable for everybody. That was my favorite part of that wedding.
Okay, well-
I'll never remember it. It was a memory that I will never forget.
The time, in my opinion, for the open mic, if you're going to have one, or the unplanned speeches, is for the rehearsal dinner. That is
Okay.
a smaller,
That's a good idea.
more intimate group. It tends to be the ones that have known you the longest. But at a wedding, when everybody is waiting for you to cut the cake or start serving the champagne, whatever it is, and we have to listen to the groomsman who is rambling on because he's not prepared.
I love it.
Ugh,
No, and then
I love it.
no.
and then also let's have a time limit. Like if you're the father of the bride, let's keep it under 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you're just extending it. We know you love your daughter, and you're going to say something sweet. 5 to 7 minutes max.
Sometimes less is more.
It
on those
is.
things.
Does anybody remember how my own father roasted me at our wedding?
yes.
And I loved it.
Yes.
I was like, Dad, what are you doing? I'm your daughter. You love me.
It's like, I didn't think she'd ever get married.
It's like,
And it was
now is not the time.
Entertaining part.
But he's so regal that he can say it. It's like
I
kind of like he's not British, but it's like when a British person slams somebody,
Yep.
you're like, oh, that sounded
Yeah.
fine.
Most of the people thought, God, what a beautiful speech. Me, on the other hand, I was like, I actually was listening to what he said. It was perfect.
And one last thing, real quick: if someone comes from out of town, they do not need to give the couple a gift because of the expense they're already expending. And then it continues to say, actually, let's ban all gifts at weddings.
No,
No,
that's the only reason why I would have a wedding.
no. The tradition is that you are helping this couple. Now, if
Yeah.
they've lived together for 15 years,
Right.
you're like, okay, what do you need? Maybe a honeymoon fund or something.
Yeah.
Sure.
But,
And if it's their 5th wedding you've been to with the couple,
yeah, let me tell
Yeah.
you, second, third, fourth, for you're not getting a gift.
really?
I don't think really.
You would not get
But see, that's not fair. Okay, it's maybe it's fair for like
because she already took half. So
right. So they're actually they're actually in a worse situation, and it's not fair to the new. Let's say somebody's first
wedding.
It's their first, but they're marrying somebody who's been married before. I've been in that
Okay,
situation.
Fine.
It's not fair to them.
That's true.
Now, if they've both been married several times, just get married in the backyard and
Yes.
just leave everyone alone.
100%.
Yeah.
Go to the courthouse, have your moment, and then send us a picture.
Yeah, let's not do that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mhm.
So anyway, what we're saying is weddings are real difficult. Katie has 7.
and
I know.
expensive.
I
We
feel
only
like
get to go to 6. We're only going to 6.
I do know.
Crazy.
I know.
We have a mutual friend, Sal, that he went to a wedding in Nashville,
Mm-hmm.
and he was excited to go. He loved obviously he's really good friends, but Nashville's expensive.
Oh,
Yes.
gosh, yes.
Had to fly out there, and then he was like, none of my suits fit, so he had to get brand new suit. I think multiple ones because it was like a rehearsal dinner thing, and he's in the wedding, all this stuff.
Dang.
He said that he spent several $1,000s
Yeah.
for a wedding, for one wedding.
It can be very expensive. We're going to Austin, Texas in a couple weeks for a wedding. And clearly, I need boots. I'm going to need a hat. I'm going to need a whole extra
but
suitcase
you're
to
taking
come
that
home.
as that's going to be a mini vacation.
Oh,
for you.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
I think destination weddings are that.
Yeah, you
That
have to
they
plan
are
like you know what this is going to be. This was part of the budget of a vacation that we might take. You have to.
100%.
You have to.
I told Ben that we have got to start learning how to two-step because I'm going to be dancing in some honky-tonk bars. And he said, if you keep this up, you're going to be taking your friend Blair
Yeah.
to the wedding. I'm like,
I
well,
also think destination weddings should be banned. That's my whole thing.
what?
I just think it puts a lot of pressure on your friends that may not have
Oh,
money.
it's not destination as in.
Oh, not them.
Yeah,
No,
not
you're
them,
right.
'cause
Not
they
them.
live there.
No, not
Yeah.
them. But like, and I know
Mhm.
some of us had family members that have done that. But I think it puts a lot of pressure. And if you don't have money, then you're like, but I got to figure a way to do it. But if you have money, it's easy. But when you don't have money, that's like extremely stressful. Like, I'm going to charge $2,000 to go to this wedding that I don't have.
Well, I think it's the way it's presented, right? So you
Yeah.
say we are going to be doing a destination wedding, and we realize most people can't do
Can't
that.
do it.
But it's open and welcome to anybody. We would love to have you if you could. And if you can't, that's okay too.
Uh-huh.
But what's like your best friend or a family member, you just can't afford it.
I think
Well-
if they say, if it's presented in that way, they're totally cool if you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're totally cool. Now, if it's required and they
Yeah.
say this is where it's going to be and you're in our wedding and you have to do it,
Well,
then there's the pressure.
I think
but-
I think the traditional wedding norms change on a destination wedding. It's not you
It's
don't
just
have
different.
your groomsmen
Smaller.
It's just we're just getting married for some people. If you want to witness it, we'd love to have you. If not, totally get it too.
And I do have a caveat for that would lift the ban. If you're paying for me to come,
Oh,
let's,
yeah.
let's,
Okay,
let's,
yeah.
let's only have destination weddings.